The candidates will now be given 3 minutes to make introductory statements. And I'll just reiterate what we are looking for in those introductory statements. They should include your leadership training, membership in organizations, education, career, and volunteer experience. Just the ones that you believe have best prepared you to serve as leader of the city of Jackson. The mics are at your table. We can start with Mr. Robert Amos and we'll go down. And again, watch your time from the timekeepers. Is it on?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Robert Amos, candidate for mayor. I'm a product of Jackson Public Schools. I have a bachelor's degree from Alcorn State University. I have a master's degree from Jackson State University. I sponsored a nonprofit organization called Metro Jackson Track and Field All-Stars for about 7 years. I worked in education. Jackson Public School teacher, adjunct professor at Virginia College and also Jackson State. I worked in finance. I was a finance officer. I had a responsibility of monitoring millions of dollars of student aid in students' accounts. Currently, I work as a small business owner with 2 locations in the state of Mississippi, one in Jackson, another one in another location. I'm responsible for a medical assistant program in the state of Mississippi, accredited by the Accredited Bureau of Health Education Schools. It's the only school in the state of Mississippi who has that accreditation, and I'm instrumentally responsible for that. I'm a member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. I volunteered in the city for years. I'm a lifelong resident, and I want everybody to know that our campaign is about generating revenue, providing jobs, and providing scholarships and job training programs. Thank you.
Someone said, okay. Good evening. First of all, I want to thank the organization for putting on this forum tonight. And it's something to be very educational for our voters on May 7th. I am Frank Bluntson. I've been a member of the City Council for 8 years, going on 8 years, 8 years at the end of this term. I was a school teacher. I was the director of the Hinds County Youth Detention Center, Youth Court. I was the adjunct professor at Jackson State in the Criminal Justice Department. I officiated football, basketball, baseball for 42 years. 29 of those years in Swag. I love Jackson. And I want to be the person to lead Jackson to a different height than it is at this time. And what I mean by that, I don't want people to constantly have to call 3 on your side to get things done. I want to be there and have things done before you can do that. That's why I want to be a proactive candidate. I mean mayor, not candidate. When I say proactive, you don't want people reacting to every adverse situation that we have in the city of Jackson. When the sun is shining, that's the time to clean out the drainage. That's the time to do all these things. You don't wait until we have these torrential rainfall to then try to do things. That's what I mean by being proactive. You have to have passion for people. You have to let people know it's not about Frank Bluntson, it's about you. I'm working for you. You're not working for me. I'm your public servant. And that's what I want to do. I want to be the kind of mayor that when within the 4 years, I want to say and done that Frank Bluntson did a tremendous job for the city of Jackson. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is William Bright. I graduated high school in Johnstown, Maryland, Unfortunately, I didn't grow up in Jackson, but I went straight into the United States Marine Corps. I served honorably for 7 years, got out a non-commissioned officer, had a top secret clearance, was well over a lot of people in my position, so I do have some ability there. When I got out of the Marine Corps, I went straight into law enforcement. I had a total of probably 26 and a half years in law enforcement background. In 1998, I left Pike County, Mississippi, and came to Jackson and joined the Jackson Police Department. I enjoyed my tenure there. I left as a sergeant after being promoted on August of 2011, and I did 13 months as a sergeant. The reason I'm running for mayor is because I know that I have exactly what it's going to take to make the changes necessary, because after being a part of all the Neighborhood Watch Association meetings and all the meetings and everything, and all the people that I know, I was actually asked to run for mayor. Talking to everybody and learning all the difficulties and seeing so many things that are wrong in this city, I want to be a part of making that right. My actual campaign is not what I can do, it's what we can do together. I'm not running this for me, I'm running this for y'all. Thank you very much.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Gwen Boyle Osborne Chapman. My platform is Let's Move the Change to a One Love. The vision is to build and maintain a strong economic foundation for the purpose of love and for unity. Also to develop creative, collective working responsibility through faith and self-determination. My experience, God has blessed me with the gift of love, other than being a professional counselor in the community for years, being part of the National Women of Profession. At the present moment, trying to open up a place for veterans, dealing and counseling with youth in the community as we speak. I've been an active member in the community even before I was born. I really would like to be Jackson's next mayor, and the reason for that is because time for Jackson to shine. It hurts my heart deeply to see and hear people, it doesn't matter the color, a nationality, suffer. And my vision in terms of bringing a strong economic, cooperative economic foundation is to legalize hemp. And the purpose of that, after doing research, which I also was a member of research for ERIC with the University of Mississippi, where we investigated the death rate in the community, I realized that to research that the hemp plant has such a medicine for it. There's a medicine that comes out of the hemp plant.
Can we keep it on the subject of your experiences?
Okay, my experience is so long. First of all, I would like to go to the experience in terms of veterans, in terms of camp dining for youth who have problems with discipline. Also for USHA, Universal Culture Expression and Network, where it goes to help one to express their true self through yoga and through meditation, and also through prayers. My experience also with the elders in the community, which daily I check upon them. My experience is so long that also I help implement training for foster parents to be trained on how to handle emotional individual before bringing them into the home. So the experience is so great. So basically, from this experience, I would like to...
Thank you, Ms. Chapman.
You're welcome.
Good evening to everyone. It's my pleasure to be here. Let me start off by thanking all the organizers of this event for having it. Let me also thank all of you for being here. because that means that you're interested in government. You know, I've gone on record as saying that this position of mayor of the capital city is not a position you should put a person in who needs on-the-job training. Apparently, some of my opponents have taken exception to that, to the extent that they said, well, you know, you needed on-the-job training in 1997 when you came into office. That's absolutely not true. For 25 years prior to 1997, I worked in resource-poor towns in the Mississippi Delta, helping them to get water systems, helping them to get sewer systems, housing, streets, drainage. I worked to develop entire communities, resource-poor communities, in the field of planning and community development. I helped to manage projects. I was ready in 1997 to lead the city. My training, my education also made me ready. I have 2 degrees in political science, an undergraduate and a graduate degree. I'm a student of government. I understand government. I've worked on a doctorate in public administration. I've taught graduate level courses in public administration and planning and community development and economic development. I served my country as an Air Force officer in command of 60 to 90 individuals. I was president of my fraternity, graduate level fraternity, Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity, for 5 years. I also served on numerous civic organizations. I was president of the Jackson Arts Alliance. I was in the second class of Leadership Jackson. I served on the State Tax Commission, on the first gaming commission here in Mississippi. So in 1997, I was ready. In 2009, I was ready to lead. I took off trying to get Jackson back on track. We're back on track. Since 2009, we've paved some 86 miles of streets. Since 2009, we put 150 new police officers on the streets. Since 2009, we decentralized police operations to have greater police visibility. Since 2009, we created, as I promised that I would do in 2009, the Jobs for Jacksonians Initiative. That's resulted in the creation of that resulted in the hiring of some 600 people through job fairs. It also resulted in over 1,000 young people getting work during the summer. So I was ready in 1997. I was ready in 2009. I'm ready in 2013 to lead this city for the next 4 years. Hope you go to the polls and vote for Harvey Johnson in the Democratic primary on May 7th.
I'm John H. Jones, Jr., and I'm a candidate for mayor of the city of Jackson. I am a professional administrator, I am an educator, and I am a technologist. One of the things that sets me heads above a lot of the candidates that are on the stage this very evening is my awareness and my ability to use technology. Over the last 20 years, I've served as a professional administrator. I've led large budgets. I've led teams. I've developed technology on 3 different campuses of a community college in West Virginia. I've worked at Jackson State University. I'm a graduate of Jackson State University with a doctorate in administration of higher education, a master's in educational technology, and a BS degree in industrial management. So I'm well prepared to lead the city the size of Jackson. I've served on numerous committees in the community here in Jackson. I've worked out of state for the past 10, 15 years while maintaining my residency here in the city of Jackson simply because I love the city of Jackson. And I think that there are some things that we can do to make this city the great city that it should be. We need to use technology more advantageously in the city of Jackson. Right now, we're doing lots of things the same way we did 30 years ago. As far as policing, there could be things that we can do with technology that could save the city money. One thing in particular, if we had a GPS tracking system that were monitoring the fleet of vehicles that's owned by the city of Jackson and operated by the city of Jackson, we can save enough money to get some of the things done that we always find about we don't have enough money to get done. Well, I know I don't have a lot of time, so 3 minutes is very short. Let me tell you what my vision is. My vision for the city of Jackson is to make Jackson the best city in the state of Mississippi.
Ms. Jones, you'll have an opportunity to talk about vision. If you're done with your experiences, we can move on to the next candidate.
No, I'm not done with my experience.
Okay.
I worked in West Virginia. I worked at West Virginia Northern Community College. I managed technology on 3 different campuses, and I made that campus the technology leader in the state of West Virginia. I did the same thing at Jackson State. I managed the telecommunications department at Jackson State, working with Mrs. Jenny Willis. And we managed the telephone services on the campus for 5,000 students and over 250 faculty. Of course, this was 20 years ago. Okay? What I'm telling you is I have the experience to lead and the experience of creating and developing budgets and managing budgets for large amounts of money. I thank you for your time.
Good evening. I'd like to take this opportunity to also thank the Women for Progress, Delta Sigma Theta, and Alpha Kappa Alpha for this opportunity for the candidates to come and share with you a little bit about our vision, our thoughts, and our ideas. I also want to thank each of you because, as indicated earlier, lots of our ancestors and lots of our even family members have lived and died fighting for the right to be able to show up at the polls and cast your vote. This is important business, and I consider it an honor and a pleasure to be here with you tonight. My name is Jonathan Lee, and I'm running for mayor of the city of Jackson. I am a product of Jackson, Mississippi. My parents have been in business here for themselves for many years, grew up in the community surrounding this very mall, grew up attending Fair Street Baptist Church. Glad to see many church members in the audience. And I went off to college at Mississippi State, where I got an undergraduate degree in marketing and an MBA. After I left Mississippi State, I sought a PhD at the University of Alabama. But I got one of those weird, once-in-a-lifetime feelings, like something I've never felt before, and it compelled me to come home. And after I got here in Jackson, I started working on a little project for my dad, and we discovered that he had terminal cancer. He died 8 months later. At 24 years old, I was responsible for our family business. 2 locations, one here in Jackson, one on the Mississippi Gulf Coast, 2 warehouses here in Jackson, and 2 in South Mississippi. It was a big job, and I was blessed because, my father left me many, many things. One of the things he left me that I want to mention tonight in terms of my experience is the understanding that paychecks just don't fall from the moon. You've got to go out there, you've got to make it happen on the 1st and the 15th. It requires planning, it requires fortitude. I also learned that when you hit that brick wall, sometimes you got to learn to make a right turn. And it was important to me to continue to provide in the lifestyle of my family that my father had begun to provide for us. I have to tell you that I have been very involved in this community. I started out working at the YWCA, going to the YWCA as a child. So when I got back here, I made sure I signed up to go and help at IS Sandwich Choir. I've served at Operation Shoestring. I've served at Boys and Girls Club. But I've also got some experiences with businesses. I'm a former chairman of the Chamber of Commerce here in Jackson. I'm on the board of Baptist Hospital, where we oversee a $400 million budget and 3,000 employees. What's more than experience is I have the skill of being able to implement. A plan is a plan, but a plan is no good if you can't pull the trigger. I look forward to sharing with you more of my vision and ideas tonight. Thank you so much.
My name is Chokwe Lamone. I rise at this time briefly asking you to vote for me mayor of the city of Jackson on May the 7th. I want to applaud the Women for Progress, the Deltas, and the AKAs for their initiative in sponsoring this assembly tonight. I am a proud recipient of awards and appreciations from the Women for Progress, the AKAs, and the Deltas for dedicated work and service in Jackson, Mississippi. I am also 45 years a human rights activist. I have worked and struggled for human rights in over 16 different states as a lawyer and in many different areas as a human activist. I have led 6,000, 7,000 people in a march in the United Nations in 1979. I have participated in the relief efforts in Katrina, with Katrina hit, we organized tons of food and other material resources that went to the Gulf Coast. For 37 years, I have practiced law and I have represented the rights of women, men, workers, other professionals, blacks, Hispanics, whites, and others. Amongst my clients are Tupac Shakur and the Scott sisters. For the last 4 years, I've sat on the city council. And so I fought for pay raises successfully for city workers, summer jobs for the youth, jobs and contracts for residents of the city of Jackson. It is time, I think, for a new direction in Jackson. We must leave the path of stagnation and excuses and being just okay. We must move on. This will require proven leadership. It will require leadership which loves the people, leadership which serves the people, and leadership which listens to the people. You should vote for Chokwe Lumumba on May the 7th of 2013.
Good evening. I too would like to thank the organizers of this forum, the Alpha Kappa Alpha Incorporated Beta Delta chapter, as well as the Women for Progress, which I'm a proud member, along with the alumni chapter of Delta Sigma Theta. I am Regina Quinn, and I want to be your next mayor. I feel at home, Jackson. This is home for me. I grew up not far from here on Ridgeway Street. I tread the grounds of an area where trailblazers made a significant impact on this city and on my life. I grew up a stone's throw from Gines Avenue. That's where I played as a child. That's the street where Mayor and Merle Evers lived, and where Dr. Martin Walker Alexander lived as well. I am a product of the Jackson Public Schools. I attended the University of Southern Mississippi. I attended Loyola University School of Law in New Orleans. I've been a practicing attorney here for over 25 years. I've worked as a special assistant attorney general, where I represented the Department of Finance and Administration. My job was to draft attorney general's opinions on procurement and making sure state officials stay within the guidelines of the bid laws of the state. In addition to that, I worked there for a while, and then I went on and co-founded my own law firm, that's Urban & Queen. And I built that firm from scratch along with my partner, Herb Durden. We represented a number of small businesses throughout this city. And it warms my heart to travel throughout the city of Jackson to see the businesses that we represent. In addition to that, we represented a number of nonprofit organizations here. West Jackson Community Development Corporation, the Ferris Street Foundation, the Magnolia Bar Foundation. I worked there for about 10 years, and then I went on to become the first general counsel of Jackson State University. And at Jackson State, I did what general counsel do, and I had to take a title and build an office. And that's what I did. There was no office of general counsel before I got there, and I'm very pleased with the work that we were able to do. I was the key negotiator for the acquisition of the Mississippi Veterans Memorial Stadium on behalf of JSU. JSU now receives $563,000 a year from the University Medical Center. The paving and the lighting is done by the Medical Center. I want you to know that in addition to the work that I've done, I've also developed a subdivision. And that subdivision started out with the parks and trees, and beautiful trees and hanging moss. And I developed a subdivision there, 7 acres and 14 home sites, 13 homes are there now. And I will tell you, there's no water and sewer drainage problems in Lakewood Cove. I ask you to vote for me on May 7th to be your next mayor. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Francis Smith, and I am a man of God, an ordained pastor and bishop, pastor of the Church of Total Praise and Worship. I am an independent mayoral candidate, a former city employee. I work with telecommunications, information systems, planning and development, housing and community development, housing and rehabilitation. First and foremost, regardless of our education, I went to a preparatory college in Eastville College out of Texas. In spite of our experiences I was an officer in the United States Navy. I'm a retired veteran. Now I'm here in the city of Jackson, Mississippi, as a pastor, as a leader, and I've touched many lives in the city. Regardless of what's going on, this is what I bring to the table as an independent. My platform is after May 7th. I will be more than glad to explain a whole lot of things that are going on within the city. But after May 7th, you'll see a lot of things. Regardless of your education, regardless of what's been implemented, this is where we are now. And first and foremost, if you don't put God in it, this city will never win. Period. The opening of this forum should have been with prayer. The closing of this forum should have been with prayer. Our last forum should have opened up. We were in a church. Should have been with prayer. That's my experience. Prayer, putting God first. If we don't put God first, we won't win. I need you to vote for the person and not the party.
Mr. Francis Smith, I totally agree with you, and I'm very pleased that you made that comment, and we apologize for not putting God first. It's exactly right. So at this time, would you close your eyes for a word of prayer? Father God, in the name of Jesus,